Hello and welcome to CX Today. I'm Rhys Fisher, Deputy Editor, and for today's Big CX Update, I'm going to be speaking with Ioan MacRae, the Chief Revenue Officer at Sabio. Ioan, thank you for joining me. How are you doing?
I'm very well indeed. Thank you, Rhys. Thanks for inviting me along. Pleasure to be here.
No, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really interesting sort of overview of what Sabio is all about. And that is, just to explain to any of our viewers who haven't watched any of the big CX updates before, that's kind of what these are all about. It's a chance for some vendors to introduce themselves, talk about their backgrounds and their history, and also outline some of sort of the wider views and insights on the customer service and experience industry that they have. So just jumping straight in from there, really. Johan, could you start by sharing a bit about your professional background?
Yes, certainly. I sort of started in the industry back in 1998, 99, where I joined a small organisation that was called Database, very much a Nortel partner. We had a sister company that did a lot of work for Cisco, and that was then the Metody Group, which eventually was sold to Enshells. So I spent nearly 13, 14 years there, a mixture of UK, and I lived out in Dubai for the latter 5 years, opening the Middle East and Africa office. I returned in 2012 and joined Westcon as managing director for UK, and that's where I got to know a lot of the vendors and the partners and Sabio. I then joined Avaya in 2014 and became UK MD. Again, knowing Sabio extremely well and a lot of the UK partners in particular. 2019, I joined Maintel, public listed business as CEO, and joined Sabio back in July of 23, so just over 2 years ago as group CRO.
It's an impressive resume. It's very sort of diverse, especially you talk about that, the Middle East and the African background. I imagine that
Yeah,
helps give you a really interesting perspective on things.
yeah, definitely.
So,
Yes.
yeah, when it comes, I suppose, to your current role, what aspects of your job would you say are you most passionate about?
Um, I've always been very fortunate in terms of the team members I've worked with. So a big aspect of mine is working with the team members, regardless of which part of the team they're from, whether it be services or whether it be the sales teams, the marketing, etc. So a big part of my role is working very closely with our teams here at Sabio across all of the regions. Um, Another key aspect that I thoroughly enjoy is meeting customers. So working very closely with some of our key vendors, but actually spending time in customers, particularly in today's environment where you know that there's a tough backdrop that everyone's operating in. It's highly competitive, but understanding our customers well, understanding their needs and challenges, and then working back with the Sabio team to see how through our professional services and our expert services, how can we take a business problem and give them a solution back? And that's becoming ever more challenging, but ever more interesting on a daily basis is working closely with customers. So those two aspects, working with the team and supporting our customers.
Yeah, no, I think it's always interesting to hear when we speak to kind of senior exec level, because I think there's a kind of misunderstanding perhaps of what the role actually entails, which kind of leads into my next question. If maybe you could just talk us through or walk us through perhaps what a typical day does look like for you.
I'm an early starter, so tends to be sort of 5 in the morning up. I Monday to Thursday tends to be in any one of our regional offices predominantly. So I'm here today in London, our head office, but that could be any of the other UK offices or across mainland Europe. And that's to spend time with the team, but also then from those offices go and see customers. So typically Monday to Thursday is office and or out with customers and our key vendors that we work with. Friday tends to be more of an administration day, or in the Friday afternoons meeting locally with the customers local to where I live, and there's also some of the key vendors. So I like being out either with the team or with customers. That's a typical working week, sort of 4.5 days out.
I sometimes like to think of myself as an early riser, but 5 a.m. is a lot earlier than I am. Still fair play to you.
Well, early riser, but I can't say I work late into the evenings. Everyone has different work patterns.
Yeah, of course. So moving on, I suppose, more to Sabio directly. Could you just give us perhaps your best elevator pitch? How would you describe the company sort of in a nutshell?
So, yeah, Sabio are a leading expert services organization. So we have over 700 people. 80% of those are focused and experts around services. So consultancy, design, implementation, or support. So we focus in three main pillars: contact center, AI and automation, and data related services and solutions. Our vision is to deliver brilliant customer experiences every time. Our mission is to help clients use technology to deliver efficient and engaging experiences. And our proposition really is focused across those three pillars. So we have vendors that sit within our contact center pillar. We have an expanding vendors that sit within our AI and automation proposition, and then very much around data and automation in the third of our pillars. So it's all based around expert services, it's based around those three pillars, and it's all about delivering excellent customer experiences for our customers.
Perfect. What about perhaps, could you talk next about maybe the history of your company?
Well, Sabio's been around since 1998, predominantly UK focused when it was first established. It grew for a number of years, for circa 20 years through organic growth. And then over the last 10 years, there's been a lot of acquisition that Sabio made, mainly around mainland Europe and elements that have allowed operations to extend into South Africa in terms of commercial operations. So with the likes of Anana, Datapoint Europe, Coolware, Phonetic. So there's been a lot of acquisition. So it's grown tremendously. We now operate in UK, Spain, France, Netherlands, Benelux, Nordics, as well as South Africa. That's our sales and commercial outlets. We have further operational, so support centres outside of that in terms of Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, and India. Over 700 people. We look over after over 500 customers now that have presence in over 65 countries. So considerable growth, particularly over the last 10, 12 years.
Yeah, absolutely. It really is. It's a global operation now, isn't it?
Yes, oh yes, it certainly is a global company.
Yeah. So this next question is one I like to sort of ask all of our vendors because I think it's quite an interesting one. But what would you say is unique about your company culture specifically?
Um, I'm sure many organisations say it, but Sabio live it and breathe it, and that's customer centricity. So everything that we do, everything that we prepare internally, the proposition, our services, our go to market, our engagement is all around our customers. So customer is most certainly first. The way that Andy Roberts, our CEO, designs the organization, our go to market solutions, our services, is all around solving customer challenges and customer issues. So the first is all about our internal performance. So we strive to be excellent internally, whether that be our own systems, our processes, our career development for our team, accreditations, certifications. So one is all about our own performance internally, the ability to develop our own team, develop a winning type culture. That's just both personal, but also very much a focus for our customers. So the customer facing teams, predominantly around our services organization, operations, and the commercial teams, it's all around being in front of customers, understanding our customers' challenges, where they are on any one of their digital or cloud transformation journeys, understanding pain points. But this isn't just about technology and adoption. This is the market has shifted about outcome based. So, what are the business benefits? How do you realize those benefits? How do you measure those benefits? And how are you delivering a truly tangible benefit to your organization through the adoption of technology and services? So that is the absolute forefront, and that's why Sabio has certainly developed over the years and is now an expert services partner. where everything we do is customers, and it's more about their benefits, their customer experience being excellent, brilliant, but delivering tangible business benefits.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. I think, as you kind of alluded to at the start there, I think customer centric in some instances have become maybe a little bit of a buzzword, but I like how you really went into and kind of explained what that actually means to you guys at Sabio.
Yeah, certainly it is a well-used verse, as it were. But we measure how much time our teams are with our customers. We very thorough in terms of the data capture we get, how we understand our customers. We run a number of events throughout the year, both dinners, events, programs that ensure that we are understanding our customers. The customers clearly understand who Sabio are, what we're doing, what our new services are all about. So it's a very open dialogue between ourselves and our customers. But the more that we understand where they are, the more we understand their challenges, the more that we can add value to them, both in their adoption of technology, the outcome that technology can give them in solving business challenges, but demonstrating there has been a benefit back to that organization. And that's the difference I think Sabio has. It's demonstrating the value add, the return on investment, and the business benefit to the organization. That has been and will remain a very key aspect of Sabio.
Yeah, I think that last point actually moves on nicely to what I was going to discuss next, and that's maybe some kind of successes, demonstrable successes. So, are there any perhaps recent awards or accolades that your company's received that you could talk about?
Yeah, Sabio have been very successful over numerous years. Yeah, most recently we've won, Genesis Demand Generation Partner of the Year. Genesis are a key part of all three of our pillars, obviously in the contact space, obviously with their portfolio changing to have AI capability core into their platform. And obviously they sit within our data pillar. So it's great to see recognition for such a key vendor where we operate across all of our regions. We've been and continue to be Verint Support Partner of the Year for a number of years consistently. Got a very large install base of Verint customers. Verint themselves have adopted their portfolio, so it's not only the WFO, but in terms of speech analytics, bot capability. So to remain the support partner of the year just shows how highly accredited and skilled we are, and certainly moves Sabio into that AI and automation and data pillars. Excuse me. And we continue to be Avaya Enterprise Cloud Partner of the Year. We've got a very large Avaya base through the history of Sabio's. Obviously, we want to win more awards, and our focus now is on some of our newer partnerships and making sure that we're recognized and winning awards. So it's great for the team because there's a huge amount of time and effort. It's good to be able to relay that back to our customers in terms of the recognition and the accreditation we have with our key vendors. But more and more, we're working with our customers to make sure they're recognized for their efforts, the transformation they're doing. So it's great to see more recently, over the last few years, a lot of our customers being recognized for how they are working, how they are adopting technology, and how their own customer excellence. So Transcom picked up the best use of AI award at GITEX. So a joint stand with ourselves at the Avaya at GITEX, highly recognized and rewarded. Securitas Direct by Verisure for their AI-powered speech and analytics success based on Verint technology. The X's Award, the European Contact Center Awards. British Airways won their first ever award through the adoption of technology through Sabio, and that was for best data and insights category. We've seen individuals from our customers win gold and silver at the National Contact Center Awards, and that's both for Rentokil Initial and British Airways again. And at those same awards, there's been an array of Sabio customers recognised at those, whether it be from New Day, Benetton Health, to name but a few. Recently, the National Contact Centre Awards, again, Rentokil picking up gold and British Airways silver. So we spend as much time now making sure that our customers are being recognised at various awards because it's them who put the time, the effort in, It's they who are striving for customer success. And if Sabio can help in a small way, then that's fantastic. So we're focused more on our customers being recognized more so necessarily than Sabio nowadays.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's amazing. I think that's a really strong approach to take, and I imagine that's really, as you discussed, it's really rewarding from your end when you're seeing these
It
customers
is.
that you're helping actually getting recognised.
Well, it is. It shows to the whole of the Sabio team the time, the effort, the focus on our customers, understanding their challenges, resolving those challenges, delivering tangible benefits and outcomes for them to take that to their customers and see their own customer experience improve, their own NPS stats, CSATs, driving efficiency and productivity, and increase transaction adoption of technology to then get rewarded or awarded and recognized at national awards and European awards, hugely satisfying.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So moving on, I wanted to maybe start talking a little bit about perhaps your market strategy. So first of all, how do you approach the market, I guess? And could you maybe talk us through your partner ecosystem and perhaps go-to-market strategies?
Yeah, certainly. I guess for the go to market, we've adopted a sort of a geographical approach. So the UK has been a very strong market for Sabio for a number of years since its inception in 1998. So that continues to be a go to market in its own right. We have then mainland Europe, so a large operation in Spain. It's our second biggest size presence in France, Benelux, and the Nordic regions. So that's mainland Europe is our second geography and regional that's headed up by its own CRO, just like the UK is. And then we have international. And international consists of South Africa, which we're expanding into sub Sahara, and a number of our very large global customers, many of which have the presence across those 65 countries I referenced earlier. They have a dedicated team and are managed out of the UK and or Europe because they have points of presence all around the world, so they have a dedicated team. So firstly is that the way we set ourselves up, so UK, mainland Europe and international. So that's our geographical commercial. They are supported obviously by our global operations, which have all of the services-based people to be able to configure, deliver, and maintain our customers, regardless of time zone and regardless of their own operating geographies. In terms of the commercials, we have a top 100 initiative we run here. So top 100 of our existing customers in each region to make sure there is customer centricity, that we've got the intimacy with our customers, we understand our customers regardless of the verticals that they're in, and making sure that they have dedicated account teams, that we've got the support mechanisms in place, and we're consistently optimizing their own capabilities, focusing on the outcomes and the delivery and business benefits. The second half of the top 100 is our net new. So is going to market and how can we provide our expert services to new customers. So we look at both the top 100 list of acquired companies that we're trying to set up, as well as our top 100 existing customers. And that's been in place the last couple of years and proven very successful. Um, we focus our sales team in terms of three areas. So inform, this is very much around our services, so consultancy, expert services, and how can we help inform a customer, whether it be in the CC, AI and automation, or the data pillar. We then have transform, so this is often where we are transforming a customer, whether it be on-prem to cloud in the contact center, moving a customer from one contact center technology to another, whether that be on-prem, private, or in a hybrid cloud deployment. Um, AI adoption and automation, so use cases, rolling that out, business benefits, tangible benefits, and then obviously data, and that could be anywhere from WFO to WFM to speech analytics to AQM and automation. And then we have perform, our third element, which is all about optimization and performance. So ensuring we're looking after the customer, they're getting the most from their investment. Genesis, for example, put out 300 product enhancements releases a year. Do our customers know about that? Are they adopting it? Are they getting the most from it? And that would be very true in AI and would be very true in the data pillar. So we have a geographical an approach to our customers with top 100, and then we have how we engage with those customers to deliver tangible business benefits, and that's in inform, transform, and perform.
Yeah, that geographical point, especially, I don't think that's something we hear a lot about, but obviously makes a great deal of sense. You're dealing with different cultures, different societies, so having that different strategy to kind of maximize those markets makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I suppose on those lines, I was sort of thinking it might be, in terms of my next question, given the diverse nature of your sort of customer base, that this might not be that relevant almost. But is there, would you say there's a type of customer who does typically buy your products or services? And could you maybe detail perhaps your ideal customer profile or tech buyer persona?
We tend to support and work with larger, more complex organizations. Traditionally, they've been very private enterprise focused, so typically organizations with a million plus type customers. So the more complex, obviously, the greater that we can provide our expert services to. But with the ever-changing landscape, we've seen a spread of those enterprise customers, not only by geography, not only by the vertical in which they operate. So we've been very strong in financial and retail, but we've started seeing utilities come into it, manufacturing come into it, as well as entertainment and betting organizations, certainly those that are highly regulated. And more recently, we've seen public sector as well. So you look at the more complex public sector who clearly have citizens' charters and a service to offer that they're the public in each of their regions. So highly complex, still need to adopt technology, have migrations to the cloud, the adoption of AI to bring in benefits, and obviously to ensure that agents are there for the more complex. They've got a spread of demographics they've got to look after. So it has been private sector coming into public sector, but certainly those organizations that are larger are very much where Sabio's expertise and more complex in terms of their business challenges. So that's traditionally where we've operated and continue to operate in all of the commercial outlets across mainland Europe, UK, and international.
So moving on, and I mentioned this at the top of things here, and I think it's always really good when we get an opportunity to speak to people like yourselves who are really at the core face of things to get an idea of where you think the industry is right now, essentially. So are there any topics that are currently kind of dominating conversations with customers and partners? And what would you say are they most interested in or curious about? And what challenges perhaps are they facing the most right now?
Um, a lot of customers are all sort of on a similar journey, but they're all at different aspects of that journey. So we have to recognize that our customers obviously are focused on their customers, so customer experience, improved efficiencies, productivities, interactions, and they want their own competitive edge. And that's why knowing our customers is critical. Some customers have already gone on a cloud journey around their contact center. Some are in the middle of it. Some are yet to decide on that technology or that path. A lot of customers are starting to look at AI if they haven't already. So the use cases, the adoption, how can they automate? What's it mean to their own strategy? How does it fit into the wider business strategy? And that isn't just in the contact center space and the support to agents and customers, it's wider across the business. And then how do you use and adopt data, A, to drive the correct use case in AI and automation? How can you bring customer information correctly to agents to offer a better service that can't necessarily always be handled by AI? And you've obviously there got compliance and regulation to adopt. So the conversations continue in that sphere, but more and more now it's how do I adopt AI? How can I automate my process? How can it be seamless? And how do I realize a return on investment? So if I am moving in it and investing in a technology, I want to know that there's a business benefit. I want to know that there's a benefit and improved customer experience. How do I measure it? How is it deliverable? And how can I demonstrate that back to the business? So our conversations are changing to business benefits, customer experience, but demonstrating a benefit to the organization and return on investment. There's obviously a change necessarily in commercials from a lot of the vendors to be consumption based rather than pure license based. And that provides an opportunity for us because that allows us to make sure that customers are adopting the right technology. They're utilizing all of the benefits that are available to them from key vendors, automating that where appropriate, adopting AI across some of the vendors or net new that's coming into our portfolio, demonstrating the business benefit, and then using that benefit to look at the next use case or the next business benefit we can deliver them. So a lot of it now is AI, automation-based customers, adoption of the investment they've currently made or about to make, what has been the business benefit, and what are the measurable outcomes that can demonstrate the investment that I've made. So to us, there's been a significant shift in the conversation with our customers, one that suits, very grateful to say and thankful to say that suits Sabio very well, because that's exactly why we got these experts with over 80% of the business focused on exactly that, making sure our customers adopt correctly, adopt wisely, but can measure the business benefits, not only internally, but out to their customers as well. So there has been a change in conversation. Really, in the last year to 2 years, we've seen quite a significant change.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. And thanks for that. I always particularly enjoy kind of hearing these insights from people like yourselves, almost from a selfish or personal perspective here at CX Today. It gives us a great look into, what the sector's interests are, what the audience interests are. So yeah, I
Yeah,
always find that particularly valuable.
no, not at all. And it's not always revenue based. So whilst organizations want to increase revenue, a lot of it is how can they improve customer service whilst reducing the cost to serve. So that's why AI and automation is so key, the correct adoption of data. So how can we improve the number of transactions or interactions you do a day? How can we reduce the human input? So human agents are there to really deal with the more sensitive and or more complex. So your cost to serve, the cost per transaction, whilst increasing the number of interactions and complexity of them with an automation layer it's a conversation that is becoming very, very common. And I can't see that going away. That's going to increase in its volume across all verticals and all sides of organization.
Yeah. Again, just from our perspective, looking into space, we've seen very similar things. So completely agree with that thought. I suppose changing lanes a little here, I wanted to move back to perhaps we've discussed kind of more in a general sense some of your solutions throughout this chat, but are there any, what would you say are the main problems that your technology solves for your customers? And have your customers' needs perhaps changed over the years?
Um, so the types of problems that we're trying to address with customers, our customers are looking at excellent customer service, a phrase that may be well used within our industry, but is really delivering tangible benefits to their own customers. So whether it's first time resolution, it's um, increased call volumes, reducing average handling times, they have got to be able to serve their customers better than their competition. So quicker, more informative, single customer journey. That in itself is quite a complex. So we're there to help our customers. Are they, again, if they're moving to a cloud migration, what's the technology, what's the business benefit, how are they going to use AI and automation How does workforce optimization, speech analytics, quality monitoring come in and benefit? What is the data source, so a CRM solution they're going to bring in to serve that customer? So we are here to help and advise our customers on how best to deliver brilliant customer services. Now, whilst that may sound obvious and easy, it is highly, highly complex, as every customer, whilst they're trying to achieve the same goal, will have different solutions. They'll have different operating models. Some may have come through acquisition and mergers, and they've got different systems, different databases. There lies in the complexity, but there lies in where Sabio can add true business value. So the first is ensuring that we are helping our customers deliver their goals, and that ultimately is around improved and brilliant customer service. The outcomes of which is where we're trying to work with our customers to make sure they're measurable. So is it improved NPS, CSAT scores, or a number of other areas that they measure their customer experience on, and making sure that there is demonstrable week in, week out, quarter in, quarter out, year on year improvements, as well as obviously the business benefits, revenue, cost to serve, reduction in operating costs. That's the areas we try and focus on, and not one of them is necessarily easily solved. You have to look across their entire business, their entire technology stack, and their strategic focus moving forward to make sure that we're mapping into all of those areas to make sure we are delivering exactly what the customer wants to serve their customers.
Yeah, you spoke there, I suppose, about quite a few, I suppose, cutting edge technologies that we're seeing in the space right now. I was just interested really in how does Sabio approach innovation? And I suppose as a follow-up, maybe if you could explain your process for gathering feedback and generating new ideas.
Yeah, as I say, we look at our three pillars as well, all around contact center, and we have some key vendors that sit within there. We've mentioned Avaya, Genesis, Amazon now is very much a four. We've got a number of global deployments. Microsoft, we've have just in the process of delivering some key projects with Microsoft, both AI and automation, as well as contact center. In our AI pillar, Google, Amazon, Genesis, Cognigy, Amazon, they all sit within that AI pillar. And then obviously in the data, you'll have a number of those vendors offering WFO, WFM packages, as well as Verint are long-standing. So we got quite a variety of 6 or 7 key vendors that sit in our 3 vertical stacks. How we then map that in to our customers, we spend a lot of time obviously in front of our customers, our existing customers, whether that be the commercial team, our solution specialist teams, our service and operation teams, the executive teams. We're all paired up to our customers to make sure we know them and we know their business strategy. We also do regular 360 reviews of our customers. So not only do we run our own surveys very regularly, so NPS scores, CSAT scores, voice of the customer surveys that feedback regularly so we can monitor and maintain how we are operating, our relevance and our services, and how we are delivering benefits back to our customers. We run a number of programs throughout the year. So one you'll know about is Disrupt. So that is an annual event we run in the UK and Spain. And this year we did our first one in France, and we'll be running one in the Benelux region as well. But Disrupt isn't just the one-day event where we have our customers talking about their journey and their adoption of technology and their business outcomes. That is a program that we run in each country throughout the year. So that will have CIO dinners where we gather CIOs together to talk about specific topics, whether that be an element of AI, how it affects regulation. We could have CTO dinners that our CTO hosts with fellow CTOs, exec dinners. We do innovation workshops, so we'll pick a particular subject, speech analytics, automation, AI use cases, migration to the cloud, and we'll run those in each of our operating theatres so customers can come in, and it is an innovation workshop. We run community days very regularly. Again, we'll pick a particular subject or a particular technology and have our customers come in specific to a subject. And then we have a lot of relationships with our key vendors and alliances where we understand what's going on in the marketplace. We use analysts and consultants to advise us so that our proposition, our go-to-market messaging, our accreditations and certifications are highly relevant. So when we engage with the customer, it's a meaningful conversation. So there is something we do every single day of the year that ensures we're relevant to our customers, we're relevant to the industry, we're on top of the trends, if not one step ahead, and ensure that we continue to bring value to our customers. So it never stops.
Yeah, it's brilliant to hear all these ways that you're reaching out and really communicating directly with your customers. I think that's come through across this entire conversation. You called it that open dialogue you mentioned earlier, and I think it's quite clear that it's not just lip service. You really live in that. And I'm sure
Yes,
that's hugely beneficial to you.
very much.
Right. So as we kind of move to our last few questions here, is we like to maybe start looking forward, looking to the future a little, getting our glass balls out. So in your opinion, what do you see as the biggest opportunity in the industry right now?
Um, for us, we are very much focused around continue to be around the contact center space, continue to be around data, but we see both of those being very much aligned to and being driven by the adoption of AI. So everyone talks about AI and agentic AI, but AI is an umbrella reference. We see AI as being one of the biggest influencers over the next couple of years. So for Sabio, it's what does AI mean to our customers? What does agentic AI mean to our customers? Regardless to some extent of the underlying technology, it's how do we ensure that our customers understand it, are adopting it in the right manner, it's delivering the business benefits. So we're going to be focused hugely on that AI pillar and our go-to-market based around AI. It's going to be overarching in terms of the contact center space for all the reasons we've discussed and those that are very well known in the market, while still delivering excellent customer experiences. The adoption of data, that will also be automated and brought into AI to bring back-end intelligence, serving the agents better and ultimately serving customers. So I think we'll see a semi-pivot of those three pillars we had being overarched by AI, affecting and benefiting contact center, affecting and benefiting the adoption of data and automation. So for us, it's going to be spearheading AI and assisting our customers in the adoption, the use, the expansion of it, and the business benefits back to them.
Yeah, as an almost follow up to that question, really, and I appreciate you kind of covered it a little there, but I was just interested in if there's any particular technologies that you think will kind of have the most significant impact on businesses in the coming years.
Um, well, the one thing we're guaranteed in the world we live in at the moment is the evolution of technology is incredible. It's not annual, it's not monthly, it's daily at the moment. So both what's being produced by the current manufacturers and vendors, the speed in which they're bringing it out, and the amount of R&D dollars that are going in to aspects of their technology. So we're less looking at the specific vendors, more around our expert services and our overall proposition. We obviously have come, Sabio previously have been and continue to be very strong with Avaya, Genesis and Verint. They've already expanded into not only contact center AI bot capability, but also the data. We've got an increasing customer engagement and very strong relationship with the likes of Amazon across their full portfolio, AI being key within that. Google, I've worked very closely with Google, particularly in UK and Spain, and that's now replicating in other regions. And that's very much around the AI and automation. And Microsoft has said we won a couple of contracts recently for both a large contact center transformation with AI as well as AI and bot capability with a large customer in Spain. So Microsoft will come into that. And we've done very well with Cognigy recently. So obviously, interesting announcement with Cognigy and NICE only last week. But the underlying technology partners we work with will continue to be in the three of our pillars. But the biggest growth we see is AI and data, as the markets and the analysts have shown. So for us, it's really ensuring that our go-to-market modeling, our accreditations, certifications from the wider team, and the proposition, the business benefits we take to our customers are being spearheaded with the AI and automation adoption.
Yeah, I think it's hard to look past AI right now in the space, isn't it? But as you touched on there, it's how I suppose different vendors, different companies adopt that AI, how they implement it. That's really going to make things interesting in the coming years.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank you there, Ioan. I think that's been a really, really interesting discussion, not just in terms of finding out more about Sabio, but also your insights, I suppose, just into the wider customer service and experience space. So yeah, thank you very much.
Reese, an absolute pleasure. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
No, anytime. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you very much.
I would also like to just quickly thank our viewers as well for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this, please do like and subscribe to the channel. And remember to check out cxtoday.com for more stories like these. Until next time, thank you for watching.